Okay. It keeps going. I don't know how long this intro is supposed to go, so you can cut it anytime.
All
We're
right.
just vibing.
Yeah, because I can't hear it on my end.
Yeah.
So
We're
that works perfectly.
perfect. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Manga Mustard, where you can get your daily dose of, well, not daily, it's monthly. But whenever I'm in charge, we're talking romance. We're going to swoon. We're going to talk about some office scandals. It's going to be fantastic.
Mm.
Yes. And then, of course, joining me is Christian, who will be talking about, not romance. But no, I think you said you had a romance one,
Yeah.
right?
50%
50.
romance
Okay.
this
I'm
time.
excited. I'm intrigued. Well, welcome. How's your week been, Christian?
Week's going really well, especially since I'm on, just started fall break. So I have this whole rest of this
Really?
week and all of next week. And I'm just going to relax. I'm going to go to Chicago next week to go see my brother and sister in law and niece and just relax for once in my life.
That's cool. I'm eating a cookie and I'm drinking hot cocoa. So it's pretty much Christmas. I'm
Perfect.
doing a good time. It's peppermint hot chocolate too. So we're already Christmas vibing. It's not too early because Christ is born. Amen. So okay,
Excellent.
tell me about this romance manga. I need to know.
Oh, you want me to start right off the
Yeah, I
bat?
want you to
Okay,
start because
sure.
I'm so curious. I can't wait.
Okay. So this is the newest manga from Shonen Jump. It is called Two on Ice. It is, I mean, to go through this one, it starts with this young boy who is in the third grade, and he's very adept at a lot of the sports he plays, but he's just fascinated by the idea of ice skating and like the competitive aspect of it. So at that young age, he goes to a rink in Hokkaido and sees this girl there who does, the twirls and the jumps, and he's just so captivated not only by her, but what she's doing that he says, I'm going to devote my life to this instead of the other things I'm good at because I want to know what's going on in her head when she does this. And hold on one second, please. Sorry, I had to die there for a second. And it gets to that point, like he wants to know her name, but he doesn't get to know it just yet. And so he sees as time goes on, like she does participate in things, but every single time in like the most contrived coincidence way, he never learns her name until one day she stops competing. And he hears a news report of her like stopping being on the rink and like this. He's not really discussed why at this point in time. And once again, it's like the point of like her name should have been mentioned like 5 different times by now, but it's not for the sake of plot convenience. And he's kind of despondent, but he doesn't give up on a dream. So he has taped videos of her performing and has practiced on his own to try and like perfectly mimic what she's done. And it gets to the point where he can do that pretty much flawlessly, but he has no rhythm elsewhere. He has like the basics of ice skating, like he's kind of garbage at, but he can like 100% do what she can do. So as time goes on, we see him and let's see, whatever the third grade of middle school is for Japan. Can't think of it off the top of my head. So he's that age, whatever that age group is, and he goes to a rink and tries to do that live on the rink there, but he's chastised because you're not supposed to do that if you don't know what you're doing by this girl his same age. They talk with one another. His name, oh, I should have said it earlier. It's like Hayuma or something like that. And they get to talking about, why does he want to do this? Like, he's a complete and utter novice. And yet at that same time, he's able to do that move. So he starts mentioning this girl and how he was super interested in her as Like, why would she do this? Why is she so good at that? And she kind of gets that moment of, okay, you're pretty good at this. So why don't I teach you how to do this? Get together. And we see him like screwing up the basic stuff, but still being able to do that kind of well. And it gets to this moment of them getting a little bit closer there. Like, this is literally that first meeting, essentially. And he's watching other skaters perform their routines in doubles. And he kind of gets fascinated by that. There's like this coach, I don't know her name either, who's by there. And he watches her, no, excuse me, the girl he's interested in right now skate. And he realizes, oh, they're kind of similar in some respects because they do look very similar. And she asks him, like, hey, I'm not able to do solo skating anymore. What do you think about teaming up and becoming my partner? And he's like, I mean, you sure? Like, I'm literally just starting this, but like, she sees that kind of will in him. Like, he's able to do these things, and he was able to do something that's, I think it's like the triple axle or something like that. Yeah. And it gets him real interested, and he starts talking about the girl he met earlier who inspired him. Wants him. That's one of the reasons why he wants to go into this. And there's this really funny line there, which he kind of like messes with him and says, "Oh, you taped that girl doing these things? I'm sure she'd be real happy to know if her stalker was doing that." And it's that moment of like she's kind of figured out that they've met before and he hasn't yet. So to her just kind of toying with him a little bit. And then finally did it get to the point where they agree to team up and they ask each other's names. And he finds that her name, when I get to that page, is Kisara. And that's where we end our first chapter.
That was all in chapter 1?
All in chapter one. Chapter one in Shonen Jump, they typically go from anywhere to like 50 to 70 pages, depending on how much, the mangaka need to get their story told in that first chapter, just to set things up.
Wow. That is an impressive first chapter. So, fun
So,
fact. Go ahead.
go
You
ahead.
go first. No, you
Okay.
first.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So it's kind of that setup of, could they be romantic partners eventually along the way, or are they just going to be, partners on the ice rink? Like, so that's setting up, it could go either way right now. It could be both, could just be one or the other.
I love a good third grade crush, me personally. So great. But fun fact, growing up, I used to like dream of being a figure skater. Like, you know how some girls like ballerina or so that was probably like the girliest thing I ever wanted to do. I was obsessed with like the Winter Olympics and always watching like figure
Mm,
skating. And like I loved going to the ice, but like I lived in a small town in the South. So not not ice skating. So
kind
like
of hard.
yeah, like, the closest ghetto ice rink was, like, an hour and a half away, and so but I loved like, I would, like, try and, like, do twirls and, like, one blade, like, stuff. Yeah, and it never happened, you know? But I'm very intrigued with my love of ice skating, this manga.
Yes. I'd say this is a very well done first chapter in that we set up the stakes, and they're very, very low stakes relatively.
Mhm.
But it's still that heightened sense of, is this the same girl? What is his interest in actually skating? Is it just, some fanciful dream, or does he actually like legitimately want to do this? Like, what happened to her that she stopped doing solo skating? Like, the mystery around that hasn't been revealed yet. So I really enjoyed this first chapter. And that was 2 on Ice for everyone who wants to check that out.
2 on ice. Man, I may have to do it, but I get so angry. Wait, is it a week to week release manga chapter or is it month to month?
It's week to week. So
Okay,
knowing
that's not
you
bad.
might want to wait a little bit.
Alright, remind me in 6 months, Christian, to
And
to
that
do
that's
this.
if this doesn't get the axe. And to those of you who don't know what that means getting axed in a manga serialization means you're cut short, like you weren't selling that well, so they get rid of your manga and put something else in your place.
I'm trying to see, gosh, I put up it's been a while since I read this manga, so I tried to do, like, a quick manga summary, but now it's being very, very lame, so I'm gonna go to my other one, my most recent. It's called The Girl and the Geek.
Oh, wow. Very imaginatively named.
I know, right? Like, I wonder what this could be about. Maybe a beautiful girl who falls in love with the, not so handsome geek in the beginning, but then, later he becomes her Prince Charming, maybe.
Oh,
So
wow. Unprecedented.
I know it's such a unique plot that has never been done before, ever. But do these storyline get me every time? Absolutely. So it starts off this girl Nanhee. Nanhee, I don't know how they like, especially with mangas, like I don't even know how to pronounce it. Like this is how I say it in my head. So Nanhee, or like she goes by
What
Nan for short.
i-
It's
is this?
Nanhee.
Well, that might be Korean then.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I can't
So that'd be
remember.
manhwa, but it's okay.
Whatever. But this is why. Thank you, Christian, for your help. It is a
Extra analysis.
yes, it is a Korean like webtoon, okay? So it counts. But
It
it's
counts.
been so long. Yeah, it's been so long I couldn't remember if this was like manga. I haven't been doing a lot of manga reading, so I had to go to my history browser on my app, on my site that I use. Anyway, so she needs money like all beautiful single girls. So she gets a cleaning job at this company. And so this is one of those big buildings where like each floor is like a different company type deal. And so like the higher the floor, usually like it's like the more prestige like cleaning it is. So everyone wants to get the highest floor, but no one wants this floor for some reason. And so her being new, she gets this big floor and it's a complete pigsty. But she really needs the money, so she just cleans as much as she can. And of course, there's a scruffy looking nerdy guy who needs a shower and he's just sleeping and he's passed out to the world. And so she goes ahead and cleans the apartment and he wakes up and he cannot find his prized action figure or some kind of model. So in all that cleaning, somehow it gets misplaced. So now she's pretty much like this company's servant for free to try and pay back to replace the action figure. And the company I chose this one because I figured you would appreciate it. So the company that this guy manages, gaming. He develops games. So that's his like he's a genius game developer, like coder type deal. And
Yeah.
so the cute thing is she's like obsessed. Like because I'm not a huge gamer, but I love those little phone games. You know what I mean? So she plays this like little phone game and he watches her play and so he's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, this game, it's really fun. Have you heard of it?" He created it. Dun, dun,
Ah,
dun. So then their relationship starts to develop because now he sees someone truly enjoying his game. And we know like all good developers are, they kind of like why am I even doing this? So she kind of like
yes.
is invoking like his passion back. And so she keeps on asking him for like gamer tips and whatnot. And of course, once he showers and all that stuff, we find out he's a complete hottie. So who doesn't love a good hottie? And they end up falling in love. But I mean, of course, we're gonna have like drama and all the stuff happening. But that's the basis of the girl and the geek. It's very wholesome. It's very sweet.
Okay. Is this finished?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm very gosh, I hate hitting the income. I like when I do my search, it always has to be like romance complete like done. And I'm not really I'll read any kind. But also listeners or Patreons, whoever's listening, I'm my manga site, I need new ones. I need new because I feel like I have read all the stuff on this one that has interested me. And we're not going to the rated M section of the site because I'm not that desperate. So if you
Yeah, you're
guys
better
have
off.
right, I don't need the fan service. I just want like the love with a hint of drama. But yes, so that is The Girl and the Geek. What is
Okay.
another that you have been
What
reading?
what
Oh, do you have
you
questions?
brought
Oh
up
yeah, you're right. My
an
bad.
no, an excellent point
Hmm.
earlier. As a creator myself, I do really love when there's someone who is reading or whatever something that I've done, and then I get feedback from them. Even like negative feedback sometimes feeds me because, someone actually took the time to read or listen to something that I did. Like that gives you like a high. So I totally get why this guy would like instantly, oh, you like this game? You're engaged in something that I made? Oh, it's over now.
Yeah, he fell in love. I want to reread it. It's been so long. I think I read it. Then that's the thing too. This is why I haven't read so much manga or webtoons or anything like that because once I start, I can't stop. I'm like an addict. I have an addiction. And I will not. It's only 90 chapters. And like remember this is a webtoon, not a manga. So like it goes quicker.
Yes.
Less words, shorter chapters. I'm pretty sure I read this in a day. And so this is why I do not drink alcohol, another reason. I'm also allergic to it. But if I if I can only imagine if I liked it, like it would be over because if I like something I don't stop. Mhm.
Yeah, it does remind me too. I'm way behind on Tower of God. That's another manhwa that I've been reading since, goodness gracious, college. So it's been out for over 10 years. The artist has had to take breaks every now and then because his hand is just kind of messed up. So
Or
it's
like
like
when
his
Oda had to have
performance
his
now.
freaking eye surgery, we were all
Yeah,
upset. It's like, please
yeah.
get better soon.
It's like, please, like,
Like,
stop, put the pencil and pen down. Just let that hand rest.
well, that's why I'm like, I think I'm 100 episodes behind in One Piece right now because once I catch up, and I will catch up, but I have to stop for years because I hate the week to week. So I rather like, watch 2, 3 episodes a day when I have time, like the seasons and just I mean, gosh, the older you get, the less time you have, and that's just upsetting.
Very true. Like, there's
But
so many series out there I need to read or watch that I just don't have the time to.
and there's nothing worse than starting something and like being 10 to 15 chapters in and it being trash. And it's like that's 15 chapters wasted.
I've wasted my time.
Or like 3 episodes into a 12 episode. I mean, like you're already 25% done, but the
And the
anime's
worst part of it
trash.
all, yeah, I'm a completionist. So unless
Me
something
too.
has personally offended me, I'm not gonna drop it. Like, you
Yeah.
really have to make me hate what you're doing to make me stop watching or reading something.
Mhm. So here's another one I've been reading. It's romance too. One day I'm going to have another not romance one, but right now we're romancing it up. So this one is really fun. It's called gosh, I just saw it. It's called An Incurable Case of Love. I know, right? These titles. So good.
Oh
So
my
good.
god, I can't say anything. I read so many trash isekai manga as time has gone on, and they're like 50 words long. They're awful. Like, I get
So
it. I have
what
no room to say anything.
what do you think my manga's about when I say an incurable case of love? Like what do you
Goodness
think the
gracious,
theme or the
incurable case.
profession?
Okay, well, it's got to do with medicine. I'd say maybe doctor nurse kind of relationship.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
oh
is.
my
Good
gosh, spot on.
job.
Okay, yeah. That nurse really likes the doctor, but maybe he's a bit aloof and a bit of a bad voice, maybe, and they just can't connect it. And she wants it more than anything,
So
and
funny because
it softens over time.
yep.
And
Yeah.
there's a nice part of him too.
Mhm.
He's not a terrible person. It's like
Mhm.
he's something bad happened to him forever ago, and like it messed him up and ruined relationships. But she's the one person
Mhm.
who can
Yeah, I mean
bring him back.
that's how it all goes. And here's the thing. Why am I such a sucker for these? Like I am they have me wrapped
There-
around their finger.
There's a formula, and we like that formula.
Man,
Like,
I
no
come
matter how
back every
trash things
time.
get along the way,
So
like
there's always going to be a love
something.
triangle too, every single time.
Oh,
Mhm.
I get it. I get it completely. Like, it's that idea. It's like found footage movies for me. Most of them are trash, but I watch them because I just find the format so interesting. Like, how did this film get found? What's going on there? What's the mystery? What's the horror involved? most of the time it's not worth my time. But I do it anyways. The same thing with isekai stories. It's like most of the time they're a bunch of etchy trash, and I hate that part. But like, there's something in there. It's like, oh, if you just focused on this instead, this could be an actual good story instead of having this six girls that the main character's never going to end up with on screen because you got to sell the waifus to people.
You gotta
It's
have the
annoying, and I fall
waifus.
for it every time.
Mhm. Mhm. It is, and I thought once I got married, or, like, once I started dating, especially when I got married, it would kinda, like, calm down because I have my real life 3D love story. It didn't. It honestly sometimes put unrealistic expectations on my marriage, and it's not fair to my husband, but he loves me so well through all my, like, weeaboo things. Like, he's just such a great
Yes.
we celebrated 10 years of marriage, yesterday, and so he loves me.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you. I mean, he just loves me so well, but going back to An Incurable Case of Love,
Yes,
um,
yes, yes.
a manga where you could never guess the plot, but Christian was 98% spot on. But this one's
Yeah.
different because she was having a stroll with her grandmother, and the grandmother collapsed, and she was so afraid, but there was this kind doctor who stopped and helped, and it
Mm.
marked her so much. She, despite not being the best or the smartest, she persevered and went to nursing school, got a job at the hospital the doctors worked at, and vowed to, like, be a caregiver like he is. That's beautiful.
Oh, I should have said he was older than her. I should have known
Yeah,
better.
yeah, you should have known because we love those little almost inappropriate relationship because wish she was okay. In her defense, she was like her last year of high school, so she was pretty much already an adult. And
Okay.
he just became a doctor, like he was doing his residency, so it wasn't that
Okay.
bad. But yeah,
Well, it helps too. Like he wasn't doing anything towards her. Like he was just doing his job, and she fell
mm-hmm.
first.
Yep, yep,
And now they're both adults. Okay, that's a lot
mm-hmm.
better in some
Yeah,
situations this can end up in.
yeah. But then she finds out he's a doctor with an awful attitude, best bedside manner, but awful attitude. And so she doesn't sh she doesn't try and hide it, and she doesn't try and impress him. It's one of those, like, she's goofy with it, and she's just like, "I love you," and, like, she's like, "Do you love me yet?" And so she pretty much wears him down with her, like, perseverance, but she think he because everything is so mundane and like, he finds it out the ordinary and funny. Like, she makes her laugh, and so they end up, like, falling in love with each other, and I'm just like, "How'd that happen?" I love it when my type is, like, almost, like, sadistic male lead, like, where he's, like, kinda mean or unapproachable or, like, in a bad mood. Not really like, a bad boy, but kinda like a grouchy guy, I don't know. And then, like, he gets worn down by, like, the cutesy girl. Like, that's
Mm.
like, I just love that. So whether it's, like, the CEO and the secretary, a doctor, a nurse, like, it gets me every time, and I should be
Yeah.
embarrassed about it, but I'm not. I'm very proud of who I am.
Look, we all have our guilty pleasures
This is
out
like
there.
I also had therapy today, so I'm, like, super open, so this is probably this is just the ongoing of my therapy session. I'm just, like, putting it all out there.
Okay. Okay. That's perfect. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that was, my incurable case of love. Hopefully, we can cure my crazy, but we're working on it.
A tall order, but we'll see what we can do.
It is. That's why I go to therapy. But also, mental health is important, so you should be talking to someone. Okay, go ahead. My little plug.
All right. Well, to go in a completely different direction to all of this, even though there is some romance hinted at in this manga,
As long as it's
we're gonna
not
go to
hentai.
Chainsaw Man.
Oh,
Oh,
I
thank God! No, no,
But when you said
no.
hinted, I was like, "No, don't go there." Okay, I watched the anime. I haven't seen the manga. Look, I haven't seen I haven't read the manga, so tell me about the manga.
Okay, so this is part two of the manga. That first one ended, um, a couple. what, 6 or so months ago. I'd have to look it up. And then Fujimoto Sensei took a little time off just to get some research done, get a little rest, and now he came back with part two, like pen, paper, swinging. Wherein Denji is still our main character here. He's Chainsaw Man. He can, you know, turn into this chainsaw form to fight off devils and fiends and stuff like that. And we are also introduced, though, to a new character in Asa Mitaka, who has become bonded with the War Devil, who is one of four devils that are basically the horsemen of the apocalypse in this universe. The War Devil, however, is weaker than she wants to be. So there's kind of a each kind of has a bit of control over Asa's body, but like the War Devil can be in control for a bit, Asa can be in control for a bit, but the War Devil's goal is to like cause more war in the world so that she can get more power. She wants to get rid of Chainsaw Man because Chainsaw Man in some way is able to kill devils permanently to the point where people forget that they ever existed. So there's a scene in the first part where a character mentions that there used to be something like the Nazi devil, and people don't know who the Nazis are anymore because Chainsaw Man killed the Nazi devil because devils are created from fear of something. It's wild. It's all over the place. I love this series. So this whole time, Denji and Asa have kind of been that getting to know each other stage, but unfortunately, on their first pathetic attempt at a date, shenanigans happened to where she had to lose her memories. So,
And Asa's
and he
the pink girl, pink haired girl, right? Reddish pink one. Which
no
one's
no no
Asa?
power is who you're thinking of.
No, I'm thinking of the boss with the like the nice eyes,
Oh,
like the.
Makima.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. That totally separate character.
Got it. I was making sure. It's been a while, so I was like, did he get the boss? Continue.
Yeah, that's something you'll have to discover along the way about how that ends up.
Dun dun
In
dun.
fact, yeah, one of Denji's very quoted lines so far has been like, "Every girl I meet who's interested in me is trying to kill me," and yeah, that has not changed since this manga has started.
Poor guy. I'm rooting
I
for
know,
him.
like it's one of those characters too that would really annoy me when I first started watching. Excuse me, first started reading because I started the manga before I got into the anime. It's that, the perverted, like, I just want to have sex character and like I want to touch breasts and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I hate when characters are like that. But like
He just wants
you
love
see,
and life experience. Why do I always defend the perverts?
no, I'm about to defend him
Oh, okay, good.
because he has nothing.
Yes.
And like he's a teenage boy. What do
Yes.
teenage boys obsess over?
Mhm.
Stuff like that, especially him. He has no dad. He's been treated like dirt his entire life. He just wants love, and that's how he thinks you should express it.
Mhm.
And he's really screwed up in the head, so he needs some help. And of course, therapists don't exist in the manga world, so he can't get what you and I can get.
Yeah, but if they did exist, let's be honest, they would probably try and kill him.
More than likely, yes. So at this point in time, there's been something that's kind of come out, and it's called the Chainsaw Man Church, and
Ooh.
they worship and venerate Chainsaw Man because he's been seen as a superhero across the world because he kills devils and saves people. And
Mhm.
this whole time, Denji is trying to get people to recognize that he is Chainsaw Man, but things are just conspiring because, like, he wants the fame, he wants the babes, but he can't get it
Mhm.
because things are working against him. But the Chainsaw Man Church has a fake Chainsaw Man with them. So even then, we don't know exactly how. We think there's some form of devil that's like, able to copy powers or something like that. That is taking the credibility, the fame and credibility away from Denji, but at the same time, he can't seek it either because he's also looking after this new girl that he's kind of adopted as a daughter to an extent. So to protect her, he can't also seek what he really wants because he does love her. He wants to keep her safe. It's a really wild. But right now, we in 143. I was only going to do that, but 144 actually released Tuesday, so I'll be real brief of both of those. Is we start in 143 where at this kind of amusement park, there's been
Mhm.
talk by a bunch of these hybrids, fiends who are gonna like kill a bunch of people in the name of causing a revolution, like causing people to fear stuff and to respect the Chainsaw Man Church or something else,
Mhm.
but they're stopped as, by special devil hunters, as we see that a couple of the devils that we thought, excuse me, fiends, hybrids, no, hybrids and devils, I always get those terms screwed up.
Mhm.
They were thought to be dead for good back in part one, including a character called Quangxi. How the heck you pronounce her name? I don't know.
Mhm.
She shows up in this chapter, which has given hope for another ship to
Ship
possibly
it,
come back.
ship it, ship it.
Like, I'm torn because I really ship Asa and Denji. But there was a character in part one you'll meet when the second season of Chainsaw Man comes around who is just, you're going to like her. I can tell.
Ooh.
And you're
Yeah.
going to like what they have, but something tragic is going to happen because this is
Aw.
Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
But the hope is because these guys are coming back, she's not really dead either. It hasn't been proven yet, but like the speculation is there. So we get there all the way to chapter 144 because we find that the Chainsaw Man Church has actually been stockpiling guns and to kind of do this. It's this weird cultural revolution thing, but at the same time, they want to be seen as legitimate, and they're being manipulated by the famine devil to like cause all this discord in the world while they think they're doing the right thing. And actually, one of the things Fujimoto Sensei does is he's very anti-gun, which
Mhm.
is antithetical to me, but I understand where he's coming from because one of the main antagonists of part one was the gun devil.
Mhm.
And we get here, it's like we see a character who doesn't have a name yet. She comes in, like starts whipping some butt, and actually gets some of the people to stop instead of killing them, like what you would expect, and say, "Hey, like, hey, just drop your gun, go back to school. Like, we'll be cool after that." It's really interesting to see that. And at this point in time, like we see like one of the leaders of the Chainsaw Man Church is like trying to get his guns and fight, but he is attacked by people in public safety whose job it is to stop these things from happening. So he's essentially becomes part of the Justice Devil, who has been a main part of part two as well, who has made deals with a bunch of people to give them power. And he's going to deliver Chainsaw Man's justice only to be killed by the Katana Man, who we saw in the first season of Chainsaw Man. Or he was the one that Denji and Aki like kicked in the groin multiple times over.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, he's back and he's out to kill Chainsaw Man. That's where our chapter ends. I love this series so much. I know some people it's it's too hyper violent. It's too sexual. Like even really it's not. It's not no ecchi exists in the series, but I have seen way worse.
Right, right. And then like nothing's really like even in the anime because that's when they really put it on thick. I think it was fine.
Yeah. Like I love Chainsaw Man. That's all I have to say on it. Do you have anything else
Snaps.
you want to add?
No, just snaps for Chainsaw Man.
All right.
And this is us hoping, man. But at least he got his first kiss. I was really happy for Dingy, and then even it, I still get sad. Like very few times have I've gotten like legit like upset for a character, like feeling like like yes, I've gotten like sad like if
Yeah,
someone died,
yeah.
but I'm like I had so much empathy for him. It was like his first kiss, and he got thrown up in his mouth.
Yeah. It was bad.
That made
Like
me
that's
gag. Ugh.
when you do get to the second season, you're gonna see things get worse, but
Dude,
also get better.
I would probably read the manga of Chainsaw Man because I remember when the anime came out, I was like, finally, an anime I can get excited about because it's hard getting excited nowadays. It could just be I'm in a very busy season right now and I keep on saying yes to too many things, but it's okay. We have to make margin for anime and manga and reading and life. But yeah, I think I am ready to wrap up. What about you, Christian?
Go for it.
Hey, we have to plan our next alliance strategy meeting, by the
Okay.
way. Okay, we haven't rebelled against Josh this episode yet. We haven't even hated on him at all. So, but it's
Oh,
fine
that's
because
true.
we were focused on the manga, and we
Yeah, yeah,
came
yeah.
here to do a mission, and we did it. And Patreons, if since you had access to this first, we hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your support, and everyone else. Why aren't you a Patreon? Like, I think we're pretty cool. You get
Yep.
access to things quicker. You get your own channel on Discord. Come hang out with us. Make sure if you guys haven't subscribed yet to our channel, do that. It really helps us. And tell us what mangas you would like us to read next. Christian will probably do it. He's a better host than I am, and I would try. Okay. Sounds good. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.